Welcome back to the spot where the culture talks loud, the jokes hit harder, and nothing stays in the shadows for long. Tonight's story came with smoke the second the stream went live. The moment Mason and Camron popped up on screen, you could feel the chaos loading like a countdown. The chat was warming up, the viewers were locked in, and you just knew somebody was about to get roasted. And sure enough, the target of the night, Dame Dash again. Cam leaned in with that classic Harlem smirk, eyes glowing like he was sitting on a bombshell. Killer, what's good, man, bro? How you doing, mans? Chilling, man, it's a lot going on, mans. What's going on now? I don't know. I got to stop, I'm not doing all this corny no more. I'm done with it. I'm just gonna sue you. I'm not gonna look like a clown no more. 'Cause I got to defend myself in the algorithm. If you say something about me that's not right, I'm putting the hit on. Then he dropped it. Hey yo, somebody call a dentist, man. Dame out here losing teeth like scratch-offs. For anybody who lives on YouTube and streaming instead of cable, you already know this is the new late-night TV. Back in old Hollywood, comedians would line up at places like the Friars Club or on celebrity roasts and take turns cooking movie stars. Now the same energy lives on live podcasts and hip-hop talk shows, and when a punchline lands like that, it's basically a red carpet moment for memes. Bro, the whole room erupted. Ma almost fell straight out his chair, laughing so hard he had to grab his mic like it was a lifeline. Producers were screaming. Interns were sliding across the floor. Even the camera crew couldn't hold the shot steady. It looked like the funniest earthquake Harlem ever produced. I don't want to walk in the courtroom, but I guess I had no choice and I'll do it. How's everybody doing today, mans? Yeah, man, how did we get here, man? That's all, some days I just wake up. How did we get here? That's all I want to ask. How did we get here, mans? I had no idea. But Cam wasn't finished, not even close. He hit another one, leaning forward like he was about to deliver breaking news. Killer, what's really good, man? Forget a toothbrush. Bro needs a whole squad this time. That was it. The studio lost every ounce of control. People were wheezing, crying, slapping the desk, everything. The comments were flying so fast the chat looked like a slot machine on turbo mode. In the age of livestream chat, that's the digital version of studio applause. Late-night hosts in Lowe's Angels wish they could bottle that kind of instant reaction, the way one ruthless joke can flip a whole room and half the timeline at the same time. I don't know how to deal with these things because I'm used to violence. I'm used to dealing with things a different way. I'm not used to going to court, but now I am, so that I'm not beefing with y'all, I'm putting a hit on, and that is a lawsuit. And once Twitter caught wind, it turned into a full-on festival. Memes, clips, old Roc-A-Fella photos, everything resurfaced like someone cracked open a vault of petty history. And somewhere out there, Dame was pacing the floor, thinking about the old days when he was the one cutting checks for Ma and Cam, running Rocafella like a kingdom. Now he's the punchline on the biggest talk show in hip-hop. This is how modern entertainment works in the U.S. Nothing ever really disappears. The same way clips from old award shows keep resurfacing for stars like Kanye West, Britney Spears, or Justin Timberlake, hip-hop history gets dragged back into the spotlight every time a new joke hits. One second you're a legendary executive in a classic photo, the next second that same picture is a reaction meme under somebody's roast. My problems is, did the lawn man come to cut the grass? Is the pool clean? I don't have these kind of problems, man. My life is easy, man. Beautiful wife, beautiful life, great kids, man. They can have it, man. I'm bowing now. Harlem energy is different. They don't let anything slide, not a single moment. But here's the part that makes their show legendary. Mase and Cam didn't turn it into beef. They turned it into straight comedy gold. They flipped shade into entertainment, turned a regular discussion into a world-class roast session, and even tossed in some free dental advice just to twist that knife with style. That balance, jabbing at somebody while still keeping it jokes, is the same tightrope Hollywood comics have walked for decades. Think about how Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, or Kevin Hart can fry an A-list actor on stage at the Oscars or in a Netflix special, and everybody still daps it up backstage. Mase and Cam were playing in that same arena, just live and unfiltered. Cam, stop tearing down your brothers, bro. Oh man. Now to be honest with you, murder, the thing about it that you don't know is that you in it too. You just don't pay no mind, they bring you in. Don't tear me down, and you know what I'm talking about. By the next morning, the internet was still gasping for air. Clips everywhere, reactions nonstop, group chats blowing up, everybody replaying the moment like it was the new national anthem. And when Dame finally tried to clap back, the moment had already run laps around the internet. It was too late. The joke was officially bigger than him. The internet wasted zero time crowning Mase and Cam the new kings of petty, and social media devoured every second of it like it was Sunday brunch. That's the same cycle you see anytime a big Hollywood moment explodes. Whether it's a surprise kiss at an awards show or a messy late-night interview, the clips hit Twitter, TikTok, stitches pop up, and suddenly it's not just a moment, it's content. Platforms that cover the industry, from gossip blogs to entertainment podcasts, live off this kind of chaos. They bring you up about twice a month. You just don't hear it. You just ain't paying no mind. You too high for them, you're too high for them boys to reach you, but you definitely in it. I need you to stop doing that, man. I need you to stop beefing with everybody black, go with somebody white. The clips were everywhere, reactions were exploding, and people were replaying the roast like it was a championship highlight reel. Meanwhile, Dame tried to go live on IG talking about how real men don't gossip, but the comments section turned into a comedy battlefield. Instantly, fans flooded his chat with toothbrush emojis, tooth jokes, dentist memes. It was ugly. Entertaining, but we also want to be informative. So today I brought in two dentists to really break this down. I wanted to start off asking questions, but my man Sin City wanted to lead off. I'm starting to see people lose teeth. Is it because of? One fan even wrote, "Bro, you losing more teeth than deals lately." And the whole chat went up in flames. You could see Dame trying to hold it together, but that Harlem heat hit different. The man couldn't defend himself for more than 2 seconds without getting ratioed into oblivion. Every time he tried to talk, the comments dragged him right back under. And by then, Cam and Mase had already set the entire internet on fire, so every meme page treated Dame like he was the new weekly challenge. Sorry. In the modern Hollywood and music ecosystem, Instagram Live is supposed to be where you control your narrative. But over the last few years, it's turned into the exact opposite. Actors, rappers, and reality TV stars have watched their careers wobble after one bad live session. Dame walked straight into that same trap, with the whole hip-hop internet waiting on his every word. Are we missing the jokes? No, it's no, we know whose teeth just be falling out, so I don't know. They're just falling out of their mouths. So okay, let's talk. They didn't even have, like, trauma, they're not. No, they're in the middle of a conversation and then they be like, yo, it's a plastic. Okay. By the afternoon, clips from it is what it is were blowing past 1 million views like it was nothing. And the roast got its own nicknames: the Dental Dash Disaster, the Tooth Fairy Takeover, the Dash Dental Roasting Session. Fans were out here naming the moment like it was a brand new mixtape drop. Harlem really turned pain into punchlines and made it viral. So then they need to start looking at implants. Right, so if we're talking about their stuff is falling out, seriously, like, sorry, I don't want to laugh. No, we don't want to, no, that's okay. What I'm saying is we don't want y'all to miss that. We're just laughing 'cause it's not y'all, it's a few people in mid-conversation. This is classic American entertainment culture. If a moment is big enough, it gets its own nickname. From Nipplegate at the Super Bowl to Slapgate at the Oscars, fans love turning real drama into these tabloid-style titles. Dame's situation slid right into that tradition. Even other rappers couldn't resist jumping in. Laughing emojis under Mace's posts, sneak disses in comments, some even quoting Cam's line, "Bro don't need a toothbrush, he needs a whole team." At that point, this wasn't just a joke anymore. It turned into a full-on cultural moment, the kind of internet chaos that becomes legend. Everyone had something to say, everyone was picking sides, and Dame Dash accidentally became the star of the funniest roast hip-hop had seen in years. In the broader Hollywood and US entertainment scene, we've seen this play out over and over: actors, singers, even directors quietly sliding into the comments when a moment is too good to ignore. The comment section has become its own red carpet, where one well-timed emoji from a famous face can push a story even further into the spotlight. Hello. Oh God. Yeah, so that's why here's the problem. The best treatment for missing teeth is implants. Unfortunately, a lot of people cannot afford. They're expensive. So when your teeth or dentures are infected, it could cause something with the brain. Yeah. Yes, oral infections, like the bacteria that can travel throughout your mouth, and chronic inflammation, that is the root cause of a lot of disease. You know what? That explains a lot. That explains a lot. Could lose their mind, basically. The internet didn't just crown Mase and Cam the new kings of petty, it practically threw them a coronation ceremony. Social media devoured every second of that roast like it was an all-you-can-eat Sunday buffet. Clips were looping nonstop. Reaction videos were dropping every 5 minutes. People were replaying the jokes like they were studying game tape from a championship win. TikTok had remixes of the jokes. Instagram had lip sync parodies. It's progressive and there, hey. Yeah, you're mines. Honestly, you start bugging out. Get out of here, man sucker. So people will have, like, a perfect smile but don't realize the bone underneath it is actually deteriorating. That's why you're talking to someone mid-conversation and it could just come out like, you are a black what color? Yeah. How like what's the time limit or how many days you think somebody has to go without brushing their teeth till they start losing? This is the same remix culture that flipped scenes from shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Love and Hip Hop, and viral reality clips into endless sound bites. Once the wider American entertainment audience grabs a clip, it stops being just a hip hop moment and turns into background noise for the whole culture. Twitter had full breakdown threads analyzing the roast like it was a historic event. Even Facebook antis were getting in on it, posting the clips with captions like "Them boys is crazy." The internet was completely cooked. Then Dame stepped into the fire pit by going live on IG trying to talk about how real men don't gossip. But the second he opened his mouth, the comments section turned into a full-blown war zone. Fans came in swinging, toothbrush emojis, dentist memes, cavity jokes, all flying at him like they were in competition. One fan wrote, "Bro losing teeth faster than he losing companies." And the chat exploded. Being that y'all in y'all field or whatever, I know y'all not supposed to judge or anything. Like you say, you got family members that got dentures, but do y'all look at that as like, the broken teeth as far as dentures and the veneers is like a class up? Dame was trying so hard to act unbothered, but you could see that Harlem heat melting his patience in real time. Every time he tried to speak, the comments ratioed him into dust. Nobody was listening. They were too busy roasting him like he owed them money. And the worst part, Cam and Mase weren't even online at that moment. Their energy alone was enough to keep the internet spinning out. By midday, It Is What It Is clips were hitting 1 million views faster than mixtapes used to sell in '03. Fans started giving the roast its own official names. Dental Dash Disaster, Tooth Fairy Takeover, Dash's Dental Daycare. I feel like everybody should experience being broke because you realize so much more. Like in the Bible, the closest person to Jesus killed him. It always happens. When you got to talk like this because you don't want your dentures to fall out, like you biting down. This is the same forensic energy people used when they slowed down the Will Smith and Chris Rock slap frame by frame, or dissected every camera angle from Can I storming the Taylor Swift mic at the VMAs. Once the American audience decides a moment is iconic, they analyze it like it's a scene from a Scorsese movie. It was chaos, it was comedy, it was culture. Harlem once again proved they know how to turn pain into premium entertainment. They don't just roast you, they build a whole festival around it. Even other rappers who normally stay quiet couldn't resist, laughing emojis, playful jabs, inside jokes. Everybody joined the pile on. I just feel like there's some things I need to say today. Ascend, do you have dentures? I know. Okay. No, I just know a lot of people that do. Okay, I'm going to be totally honest with you. The questions he's asking are stuff that we have witnessed in the last few months. His questions are really all legit, like the stuff that we've been watching. No, that's good. Oh, yeah. I have things that I want to say, and I think I want to talk clearly, so I'm not going to sit here and rip my teeth all day. It doesn't fit, and it's moving around when they're talking and chewing, so they have to stay closed. Um, I don't care. I wanted to share something I thought the viewers might really need to hear. If you have a male audience, gum disease and oral infections are actually associated with erectile dysfunction. Some artists even hopped into the comments quoting Cam directly, "Forget a toothbrush, bro needs a whole staff." At that point, it wasn't a joke, it was a movement, a whole cultural moment, the type of viral roast session that gets written into hip-hop internet history. And the craziest part, Dame Dash didn't even walk into the smoke. He got dragged into it by accident and somehow became the unofficial star of the funniest hip-hop roast in years. In Hollywood, only a few roasts really make it into long-term memory, things like big televised celebrity roasts that people still quote years later. This felt like hip-hop's version of that, built on livestream energy instead of a studio stage. Oh well, that's my hitter, the little lesbians. All right, ladies, thank you so much. This was very informative, very educational. Thank you. Well, I didn't know that when your teeth ain't right that you start losing your mind. Yeah, made a lot of sense. Yeah, mans, yo, I got my bad, sorry. I used to run up in offices and fight. I could have just sued him, and that's what I should have did. But lawyers make it seem like it's so laborious and so expensive. And you don't want to walk in a building full of cops. You just don't. I don't want to walk in a courtroom, but I guess I had no choice. And I'll do it. This $300 million lawsuit, did he try to shake you down for like a mil or two? Like that was for real. Yeah, so a million. Yeah, so. This was one for the books, and the internet made sure it stayed there. In the larger entertainment world, we've watched massive lawsuits reshape careers, from artists fighting labels to actors taking on studios. The numbers always sound wild to regular people, but in music and Hollywood, tossing around figures in the hundreds of millions is part of the performance too. Dame leaning on that lawsuit talk just added another dramatic layer to an already wild storyline. Cam looked straight at the camera and said, "We didn't even say nothing crazy, we just told the truth." And Monty doubled down instantly with, "Facts, it ain't shade if it's accurate." The second he said that, the internet lost its entire mind. That line went viral so fast you'd think it got launched out of a rocket. People started quoting it everywhere: TikTok, Twitter, IG stories, YouTube comments, even celebrities were sneaking it into captions. It Ain't Shade If It's Accurate became the new Harlem national anthem overnight. Folks were printing it on shirts, using it in arguments, slapping it under memes. It turned into a whole cultural catchphrase. Harlem had spoken loud and proud, and the world followed. Meanwhile, Dame's old allies stayed silent, not a peep. Nobody wanted to stand in front of that Harlem smoke. You know, he put up the lawsuit online and then I sent it to my lawyer. I'm like, just in case, I don't care because it was a digital paper trail. And I was like, whatever, I'm not tripping on the lawsuit. If I got to go to court and countersue, that's what I do. I don't want to do that. So Daniel was like, I ain't even want to tell you this. Dame said, if you just give him $1 million, he'll forget about the whole thing. I was like, no, I'm not giving $1 million to make what go away, a snap battle. But then 2 days later, a day later after that, that's when I seen his post saying, let's all work together. Let's be cool, yada yada yada. What are we doing beefing? Let's bring it back together. Let's all get money, put everything to the side, man. Nobody got killed. 2 days before that, he did say, give him $1 million and it could all go away. When Mase and Cam start laughing together like that, you already know somebody's reputation just picked up another cavity. In American pop culture, certain one-liners end up bigger than the shows they came from. Think Cash Me Outside from that daytime TV moment, or I'm Rick James from Chappelle's Show, lines that escape their original setting and live forever in memes, stand-up sets, and even merch. It Ain't Shade If It's Accurate slid right into that hall of fame of quotables, tailor-made for Hollywood agents, rappers, and Instagram comedians to use whenever they want to call somebody out without sounding pressed. A few days later, Dame tried to flip the script and reclaim the narrative. He hopped on a podcast talking about how Mase and Cam were jealous of him, trying to paint the whole roast as hate disguised as humor. But that backfired instantly. The hosts couldn't even keep straight faces. You could see them biting their lips, covering their mouths, doing anything to stop themselves from cracking up. Clips of them holding in laughter leaked before the episode even dropped, and the internet turned it into another meme marathon. Fans were in the comments like, bro, they ain't jealous, they just hilarious, and how you go from mogul to meme in 1 week. This whole thing started with Dame and 50. Dame is beefing with 50 Cent on the internet. I bump into 50 Cent. 50 Cent sees me and be like, killer, what's up? Getting some money. You know, oh, what you used to do back in the day, Pat, you getting that money? Cool, me and 50 good, we ain't got no problem. Dame calls me and says, yo, I seen 50, how you gonna let him pop your? This is verbatim what Dame said. I'm telling the audience verbatim. Yo, I seen 50, you and 50, how you gonna let him pop your pockets? That ain't Harlem. We not Harlem don't do the Pat clubs. When you see from Harlem, give a pound. You down with the Pat Pap Club? We not in the Pat Club. How you down with the Pat Pap Club letting pat your pockets? Yo, why he giving you the pats? Every comment section became a free comedy club at Dame's expense. Timeline after timeline looked like an open mic night with Dame Dash as the unwilling headliner. It was nonstop chaos and nobody was giving him a break. Meanwhile, Cam casually poured more fuel on the fire by posting a selfie with the caption, "A smile a day keeps the shade away." The internet screamed again. At that point, Harlem wasn't just roasting. Harlem was conducting a masterclass. Dame Dash didn't just catch strays, he caught a whole stand-up special dedicated to him, and that was it, game over for Dame. And if you know anything about 50 Cent's track record in entertainment, publicly clowning rivals, trolling actors and executives on social media, you already understand why getting caught in the middle of that kind of storyline is dangerous. Mix Harlem pride with one of the pettiest moguls in American pop culture, and you get a saga that the internet will not let die. I said, Dame, you crazy? Whatever, man, however you want to say it, it's crazy, man. He says, "Me and 50 going through something on the internet right now. You mind if I bring that up and say that he was padding your pockets?" I said, "Damn, I don't give a now, mind you, pause this story right there. If you gonna say something about 50 Cent, what are you calling me for to get my? Okay, if you're beefing with 50 Cent, you shouldn't even have to call me about that if you're gonna be talking about 50 Cent." Dame gets on the blog and says, "Yeah, and this Cam let 50 Cent smack him on the ass. 50 patted him on his hips twice, he gave him a pat." Mase jumped in with a laughing emoji and hit him with, "Tell Dame to floss before he speaks on legends." The comment section didn't just react, it detonated. Verified rappers were chiming in like it was a reunion special, laughing, stitching the clip, quoting lines, calling it the funniest Harlem moment since Dipset had the whole city in a chokehold. Even old school heads who normally stay quiet were dropping laughing emojis like confetti. What made the whole thing even crazier was that every single time Dame tried to clap back, he just gave Mase and Cam more material. They didn't even need to come up with jokes. Dame was serving them on a silver platter. Harlem was cooking him effortlessly, like they were doing stand-up comedy with cheat codes. In the larger entertainment industry, we've watched this pattern before. Whether it's a movie star who can't stop posting through a scandal or a singer who keeps jumping back on live, every new response becomes another punchline. Publicists in Los Angeles literally get paid just to stop this exact kind of spiral, but Dame kept feeding the fire. So I'm like, "Yo, why you smacking Cam on his ass like that?" Paul was like, "Pause, like what in this environment? Not the Pat Club, not the pockets. Cam, that ain't Harlem. How you let us smack you in the ass? But then again, what you supposed to do when a big strong come over and pop you, slap you on the ass?" I'm like, "Bro, that's not what I agreed for you to say." So when he said it, I'm like, "Yo, why would he say that? I called and asked you, could I say that? That's not what you asked, could you say? Because I wouldn't agree to that. I did not agree to that, but I didn't say anything. I ignored it. I ignored the whole. I just didn't pick up the phone for the cuz I'm like." So now after that, he does another interview. It turned into a one-sided comedy war where Dame showed up with a plastic fork and Harlem showed up with a whole army. By midweek, Dame wasn't trending for business moves, interviews, or anything serious. He was trending under Toothgate. That's how far the roast went. One viral moment and the entire culture couldn't stop laughing. By the weekend, it was officially over for Dame, at least on the internet. Every blog, every meme page, every reaction channel, and every podcast had joined the roast with open arms. Even people who never followed hip-hop a day in their life were reposting the clips, saying it was the funniest thing they'd seen all year. Harlem had completely taken over the timeline, and Mase and Cam were sitting on the digital throne like two kings watching pure chaos unfold. They didn't even have to roast anymore. Their fans were doing it for them. The internet basically turned into a Harlem block party dedicated to clowning Dame Dash. And that's when you realize this wasn't just random jokes. This was Harlem showing how deep their bond goes. No matter how much time passes, no matter what changes in the industry, Mase and Cam know exactly how to ignite a moment and make the whole world stop scrolling. They didn't just roast Dame, they created a cultural earthquake. They turned a random live stream into straight internet history without even raising their voices, just slick talk, confidence, and pure Harlem energy. In a Hollywood era where late-night ratings are slipping and traditional talk shows are fighting to stay relevant, moments like this prove where the real action is now. On hip-hop podcasts, Instagram lives, and YouTube shows that feel more like a barbershop than a TV set, the power shifted from studio lots in LA to couches and mics wherever Wi-Fi hits. And Dame, he's been quiet ever since, probably trying to figure out how to recover after becoming a meme legend overnight. That's what happens when you mess with the wrong duo. They'll roast you, trend you, and still look fresh doing it. This wasn't beef. This was a comedy takeover with a hit of nostalgia, and Harlem proved they still run the conversation. When Mase and Cam got Wi-Fi, nobody is safe. If you rocked with this breakdown, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to Realistic TV Exposed for more wild hip-hop and entertainment moments. Trust me, the next video is even crazier. You don't want to miss it. See you in the next one.